And then from the back of the military council comes a tender, boyish voice and says, "Uncle, I know how to penetrate it." And Yudhishthira recognizes the voice. It is the voice of none other than Arjuna's son. His name is Abhimanyu. Remember that name, Abhimanyu. He's a boy of 14 years old, that's all. He hasn't lost that chubby milk fat that boys, but children of that age tend to have, but he's also becoming a man. You could see it's, sometimes he looks like a boy and sometimes he looks like a man, but he's already proved himself to be a great, great warrior in the last 12 days. So Yudhishthira says, "Abhimanyu, how do you know to penetrate this formation? All the great warriors around you, look around you, nobody knows. Karna doesn't know. Duryodhana doesn't know. Bhima doesn't know. How do you know?" So Abhimanyu tells him. What happened was, when he was still in the womb of his mother, Abhimanyu's mother, Arjuna's wife, is also Krishna's sister. Hey, everybody with me? Krishna's sister, Subhadra, is Arjuna's wife, and that's Abhimanyu's mother. In India, the tradition is, when a woman gets pregnant, during her last trimester, she goes back to her parents' house, the last trimester, to be surrounded by her mother, father, brothers, sisters, and that's where she gives birth. So that's those 3 months of complete downtime for the about-to-be mother, and she stays there for an additional 6 months, being well taken care of. So Subhadra has gone to her parents' house during the last trimester. Her parents' house, of course, is Krishna's house. So she's in Krishna's house. Krishna he dotes on his younger sister. And so one day, she's very pregnant at this point, and they've had a good meal in the afternoon, and it's a lazy afternoon, and she is about to doze off, and she says, "Krishna, I'm bored. Tell me a story." So she lies down on the bed, and then Krishna sits next to her, puts his hand on her forehead, caresses his sister, whom he loves so much. And then he begins to tell some story of gods and demons, whatever. And she says, "Oh, that's boring. I don't want that anymore. You've told me that before. You said that yesterday. Tell me the story of how the Chakra Formation is done and how can somebody get into it." Krishna says, "Really? Well, I guess pregnancy does strange things to women. Fine, if that's what you want, that's what you'll get." So he begins to tell all the nuances. He says, "This is how it spins, and then when you see the red pennant right here, that's when you need to enter. You just have 2 seconds to do it." And so on and on. And then Subhadra says, every now and then, And slowly it gets more lazy, more languorous. And then it trickles off, trails off. And then by now Krishna has explained to her how to get almost to the center of the formation, and then her acknowledgements stop. And then he's about to stop. He finishes his sentence. He's about to stop. And then another voice comes and says, as if, tell me more. And Krishna says, "What is this?" And the voice is coming not from her mouth, but from her womb. So just to test his theory out, he continues. He finishes how to get to the center of the Chakra Formation, and the unborn baby says, And then Krishna says, he's now, that was the kind of age it was. These things were okay. He says, "No, little baby, you got to sleep now. Otherwise, you'll start kicking your mother." And Subhadra wakes up, and we don't really want that. So he says, "I'm done." In the war council, as the Chakra Formation is coming towards them, Abhimanyu is narrating this story to Yudhishthira and says, "Uncle, this is how I know. I know how to enter it. It was, I learned it from Krishna himself. I know exactly how to enter it." And then the other shoe drops. "But I don't know how to leave, because my mother fell asleep before Krishna could tell me that."